Rise, Meg.
The Force will be with you.
Hello my dear friends and welcome back to another news update. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Bad Batch. We're also going to be looking at a rumour for the Cassian Andor series and more. So without any more jibber jabber, let's just dive straight into it. So Star Wars The Bad Batch is one of 3 shows that we can expect to drop this year. It's set to be released soon, but unfortunately there's been very little information about when. A few weeks ago there was a rumour that the release date would be announced at some point before March, and many sources have claimed that we'd get the show this spring, probably in May. On the contrary, some people have stated that the show would be a surprise drop that would be released at the drop of a hat without any prior warning. The honest truth is that we're most likely going to get the show sooner rather than later, given the fact that both the Book of Boba Fett and Star Wars Visions are both dropping this year as well, and Lucasfilm wouldn't want to cram everything in one go to do with the Star Wars schedule. So with all of this in mind, let's take a look at everything we know so far about the show, and then we're going to take a gander at a really awesome theory which suggests that the Bad Batch are the ones who rescued Grogu from Order 66. So here we go, Star Wars The Bad Batch, 7 quick things that we know. The first one is that the Bad Batch will premiere at some point in this half of 2021. Longtime fans of Star Wars The Clone Wars were saddened by the conclusion of the long-running animated series. But then we got some good news in July of 2020 when it was announced that Disney Plus would be releasing another show set within that universe. The frustrating thing is that we just don't know when it will drop. The next thing is that the show will follow a specialized group of clone troopers known as Clone Force 99. So these guys were first introduced in the Clone Wars Season 7. Known informally as the Bad Batch, this elite squad of troopers, cloned from Jango Fett, consists of members who each have their own key differences. What remains to be seen is how the members of this group continue following the final moments of the Clone Wars. But from what we saw in Season 7, they're not finished yet. Next up is the fact that the Bad Batch is a direct follow-up to the Clone Wars. While we have to wait and see what Clone Force 99 will be doing when the Bad Batch starts up, we do know that they will be navigating a galaxy much different from anything they've ever known following the events of the Clone Wars. According to StarWars.com, the series will not only focus on the group of elite and distinct clone troopers, it will also serve as the direct follow-up to the events of its predecessor, and more importantly, showing how the galaxy has changed. The next thing to know is that Dave Filoni has made clear that while the show will be in the vein of the Clone Wars, it will take a new direction and evolve from it. When speaking to news outlets, he did clarify that the animation style will be just as epic as the Clone Wars Season 7, but it could take a darker turn. Considering everything Dave Filoni has been able to accomplish with The Mandalorian, Star Wars Rebels, and Star Wars Resistance, it sounds like this will be an absolutely amazing series. The next thing to note is that longtime Star Wars voice actor D. Bradley Baker is once again portraying the Bad Batch. There are very few actors who have appeared in as many Star Wars shows, movie specials, and video games as D. Bradley Baker. Going all the way back to 2003's Star Wars Jedi Knight Jedi Academy video game, the veteran voice actor has lent his voice to titles like Star Wars Rebels, The Force Unleashed 2, and the LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special. His most notable contribution to the galaxy far, far away though is of course in the Clone Wars, in which he portrayed the entire Clone Force 99, and according to sci-fi.com, Baker will be reprising his various roles on Star Wars The Bad Batch when the show debuts on Disney Plus later this year. The next thing to be aware of is the fact that Ming-Na is reprising her Mandalorian character for the Bad Batch. Yes, she's going to be in the Book of Boba Fett as Fennec, and she's also going to be playing an animated version of Fennec for the Bad Batch. So for the very first time, she will not only be iconic for her character in live action form, but also voicing the character in animated form. As Ming-Na has stated, this will flesh out the character's backstory. And finally on this issue, there is already a Star Wars Bad Batch trailer, and it's really awesome. So until we get an official release date, this is all we know about Star Wars The Bad Batch, and those are some really cool things to keep in mind, and I'm super excited to see it. Now, if you guys are familiar with my channel, you know that I do speculation videos and theory videos as well, and one thing I haven't done one on is The Bad Batch. Well, that changes today because Inverse wrote a really cool article which is suggesting that one possibility is that the Bad Batch were the ones who saved Grogu from Order 66, and I want to share it with you guys now. There is still so much we don't know about Grogu's backstory. The Mandalorian Season 2 revealed long-awaited details about his origins and his name. But one question remains: who specifically was it who saved him from Order 66? One new theory suggests an upcoming Star Wars series is going to provide that answer. Enter the Bad Batch. On Reddit, one Star Wars fan theorizes that the Bad Batch were the ones who saved Baby Yoda and helped him get out of the Jedi Temple alive. The theory starts by saying that the group's clone inhibitor chips malfunctioned during the Great Jedi Purge, allowing them to disobey Palpatine's orders and spared Grogu's life. The Redditor goes on to hypothesize that we will see this when the Bad Batch drops. Now, while this is a really cool theory in and of itself, it's worth mentioning that there'd be a good reason why Lucasfilm would show the origins of Grogu in non-live action form. Not only could they just get it out of the way in animated form, but it would clear up the responsibility of The Mandalorian Season 3 wasting time giving us more backstory to Grogu. So by doing this in a way, we would have seen Grogu's backstory a year before The Mandalorian Season 3 drops, and of course the perk that we get more Grogu while waiting. So what do you guys think of this? Do you think the Bad Batch will show us some Grogu and give more backstory to him, and are you excited for the show? I'm aware that I have a very mixed audience, but a lot of you seem to really have loved the Clone Wars, so when the show drops we can all be excited for it. Now finally, we're going to talk about something which has popped up on the internet over the last 24 hours, and I wanted to address it. So it seems that a lot of news outlets are stating that George Lucas is going to write 2 episodes for the Andor series. At first I got really excited, but the more you dig into it, I think it's just a misunderstanding. So basically what these outlets are stating is that on IMDb, under writing credits for the Andor series, George Lucas is mentioned. But here is the problem. First of all, absolutely anyone can edit IMDb. And secondly, George Lucas is credited as a writer for many different shows that we've had, including The Clone Wars and including The Mandalorian. The reason for this is that they're using the word writer very loosely. You know how at the end of the sequel trilogy it said based on characters written by George Lucas? It's the very same thing here. It's because obviously all of this is a brainchild of George Lucas, and I think that's the accreditation that's being used here. I could be wrong, but I don't think so, because a rumour like this popped up last year and Lucasfilm responded by saying that George Lucas does not intend to work for or write for any upcoming Star Wars project. If he does, of course, I'd be super excited. So that is all of the news I have for you guys today. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you're new, give the notification bell a good old tickle, and also if you're feeling generous, please head over to my Patreon page, where for just $2 or $10 a month you can get exclusive access to content that's not found here on YouTube. I'm Star Wars Meg, wishing you all a phenomenal rest of the day, no matter where you dwell in the galaxy. Have a good one.